Welcome back to Market Mamas. I'm Becky, and this is Kendra. We are day traders from Oregon and California, and we started Market Mamas about a year ago because we wanted to kind of open it up a little bit wider to discuss the experiences of young to middle traders that are persevering through it despite how challenging it is. I mean, there's the statistics that a lot of day traders specifically and traders in general quit when it gets really hard because it's so hard. And so Kendra and I have really decided that we're not quitting. And so we found such value in our conversations through the hard days and the celebrations. And we decided that we should have, talk about it wider and invite other people into the conversations in case not everyone has a safe space like Kendra and I have cultivated together. And so today's episode is kind of special in that Kendra and I have both been growing through a lot this summer. It's August 2024 right now. And summer is a special time anyway, especially for moms because our kids are home. And so our schedule is different and there's trips and a lot of things to factor into it. And so it always is a different season for a lot of reasons for us. And I think that Kendra and I both have kind of had a season in our trading. And so we just wanted to talk about what we have been growing through recently. And today we're going to focus a little bit more on specifically what Kendra's been going through. So how's your summer been, Kendra?
Yeah, I'm excited for this episode. I'm going to bare my whole trading soul. So let's do this. It's been really good. As we discussed in previous episodes, we had an awesome trading mindset coach interview with Sri from Whole Brain Trading back in May, right before summer kicked off. And watch that if you haven't had a chance. It's really good, packed with a lot of value. And in that episode, it really provided me with a really big revelation about being a break-even trader around that time. And through editing it and then watching it, once it went public, it just made me feel so uneasy. And I just knew I really had to continue to explore, why I was not allowing my trading abilities to really serve me. And I knew it was not my trading edge or my work ethic or my dedication because hello, I'm extremely dedicated and I'm extremely hardworking. But I needed some feedback. I just had to keep digging deeper. So I did, talk with another trader who I, share daily executions with back and forth, who I just trust and respect very much. And the question I posed was, what do you see as my greatest hindrance to profitability? To which they answered, the moves you're in are very short-lived. They don't have enough room or time to move in the direction that you have decided to flow with. Also, perhaps it's not fully trusting your analysis or seeking to protect your position quickly, which can kick you out sooner than you want. So this was very accurate, and I was really grateful to have that honest feedback from someone who I know truly cares and does understand this game. And then so my first step that I went about to correct this was to just come to terms with that fact, that the entire theme of my trading system was really to prove that I was worthy and capable to participate. But when it was lights, camera, action, I would not allow myself to really seize any opportunities. I was not bringing the same woman, to the table, that had already earned her place to eat. I was letting this imposter take over, really. That was often operating from a uncertain, unsafe, and untrusting mindset. So I had convinced myself that I was being sustainable, by, not incurring really big losses, but I was really most of the time just sitting on the sidelines. And the secondary gain that I was seeking was completely safety. So armed with that understanding, mid-May and just, reflecting on it more, I was able to create a profit-taking plan that was titled How to Get Paid for the Work You Do. And so it was really an outline. It was a step-by-step action plan that would help guide me with executing in a style that allows me to be rewarded. And it had a huge emphasis on actually loving risk more than safety. So another way to put it really what is loving the opportunity to win more so than the fear of losing. So that tweak in my system or process of how I perceive risk and opportunity of mismarket, it just really opened like the floodgates for me. It was amazing that just that discovery of those limiting beliefs and an intentional shift in perception, it had me going into my summer almost feeling like a reborn trader.
Yes. Girl, I feel like that is covers so many different things, but like I love how our best intentions when we have a trade plan is like, if this level holds, then I feel like this is the next upper higher target. And so we oftentimes can get in somewhere in there. Maybe it's not perfect, but it's so easy once you're in the trade to get nervous being an early to middle trader because you don't want to go against you, especially when you see like a good amount of profits for the day. The temptation gets so heavy to lock in the profits and shut it down early. And then we are essentially cutting ourselves short because our trade plan would have rewarded us so much more royally had we trusted it. And then a lot of times we do have to watch it play out. And it's like, how many times, you know? So you really did a really excellent job recognizing that and owning it and like seeing all the ways to improve. Like, good job in like taking feedback and then putting forth an action plan and steps towards it. Like, that's incredible.
Yeah, I definitely needed that push because it is so easy to limit ourselves and to just get comfortable with locking in, a few points for the day. We just always have to realize like how this is limitless potential. We have no ceilings with this. So, and another great evolution that I experienced over summer was also challenging myself to trade the 250K evaluation accounts. So for those of you who are not familiar with funded accounts, Becky and I did 2 episodes actually covering some ins and outs of prop firm companies. So be sure to check those out. Previously, I had been working solely with 50K accounts. So the 250K account essentially has a profit target that's 5 times more. So it was kind of perfect for the phase I was in because I was like, okay, I could really now align that goal with my aforementioned trading profit-taking plan strategy and just push myself, even further out of my comfort zone to really level up. So I also really like how these accounts, they can offer less turnover and they can just honor the long game mentality from the jump. The more time you invest to pass, the stronger the urge to not blow them will be, at least in my opinion, in my experience. So in addition to that, Becky knows that summer life can just really throw me off my best game. In the past, I've sort of, thrown my time management out of the window and almost abused the extra time that I would have available to potentially overtrade and stay on the screens longer than intended. And so I was really proud of myself that this summer I did not do that. Many times I had to remind myself, like, I'm a profitable trader, I'm a purposeful trader, and I'm not here to fill my cup. So that was a really big area of growth for me as well.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think we have to like know that there is potential risk coming when we have something like that is going to potentially impact it, like a schedule change, and then be proactive about like how you really want it to look. That way when the time comes, like we can remember what we actually planned on doing with that. Yeah, you've had some big like adjustments in the last several months, and that's really beautiful to see because like we're not meant to stay static and trading is limitless. And so it's really, really cool to be able to experience the growth and transition that we all will go through. And sometimes you don't notice it as much while you're in it, but in hindsight, you can see it even more clearly.
Yeah, I agree. I think I'm super glad we're doing this episode because it's almost like a public performance, review, which is a big thing. Like Becky and I are big on doing, reviews for ourselves because, it's easy to get caught up in the day to day and it's hard to make time for all the things in our life, including this podcast. So we're kind of killing 2 birds with 1 stone here, doing what we need to do regardless to support ourselves, but also, adding value to the space that we created. So summer was great, but of course not without battle days. I definitely learned from my fair share on days when I was either forced into bias within the worst timing or trading when my understanding of direction was not clear, which usually coincides with market conditions that I just don't trade my best in. They're just not good for my edge. And on those days, even armed with my amazing profit-taking plan, it didn't work. I mean, it did not benefit me to hold to a valid target or honor my stop-loss placement. but it was really good, to be able to see that clearly, because it led me to my next evolution, which was just to further develop and improve my perspective on participation. So I've said before, I'm all about a strong morning routine and setting myself up, just for the most successful session. But sometimes even my best intentions and efforts blow up in my face. If I come in too hot and too ready, and I realize this, and a need to really change how I show up, and the expectations that I do bring into market open. So I'm in the process right now of really trying to shift that prior stance of like, okay, I'm ready to trade this morning, to rather, I'm ready to see what the market wants to do today. And for me, it puts me just in a mindset that's way more selective and in control, because after all, how I participate, every day on any given day, it's the only thing I get authority over. And from that vantage point, it could just be really empowering.
Yeah, I love that. One of my big takeaways from the last year, honestly, has been, and from time with B, is that not trading is trading. Watching the market, observing what she's doing, and just waiting to see if you get entry criteria that looks appealing enough to want to be involved. And so that selectivity is something that I think comes with time and maturity. We have to be able to see enough of it and learn how to sit on our hands until it really does look good. And that has to come with time, because it's so much easier to just click when you're like, I think it's good enough.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's hard. It's very hard to prepare, sit there, and to just sit on your hands. It doesn't come natural at all. So it's a learned muscle, really, to withhold. And I feel like that usually, like all these things, just set off a chain reaction. And my perspective on participation was a setup for me to just go even deeper, just to get even more aligned with staying true to my style, and how, and lean into how I see Miss Market, how she speaks best to me. And then frankly just to eliminate, all the noise and all the bullshit as much as I can, so that I can feel more confident and I can fully utilize and grow the skill set that I do have. And when Becky and I did some work in the One Good Trade book that we recently did a must read on, it just really gave me an opportunity to reflect even more over my progress, and then seek out further ways to improve, full circle, from the technicals, like honoring my daily risk allotment, to really cultivating a mindset that positively reinforces what that really looks like and feels like. So for me, this means not only am I setting a rule and being insistent about upholding it, but also being encouraged by it. We talked before about how discipline, it has a negative connotation, but it's really not. It can be a source of empowerment for us. So that's what I went about doing. So those desires to uphold those things will become stronger than the urge to go to the wayside. So like Bella says in the book, we need to become obsessed with our trading fundamentals. And much like when I created the profit trading plan for myself, I also went to work on a few other items, and I created a success pyramid, and I also created a side-by-side list of what makes Kendra a consistently profitable trader and what does not. So I'll go ahead and share this with you all. However, I want to just put out a disclaimer that these are very personal to me, from what I've gathered from my individual trading data and experience. I'm by no means offering any sort of trading advice of any kind. And also, just be kind, because we all know how much varies. Trading varies from each person to person. And what works for me can be totally different and sound crazy, to you. So someone who's on an entirely different path, right? But what I do hope this offers is just an example of how a developing trader such as myself can create self-coaching strategies and supports that are needed for that continued elite performance improvement that we all know is required to be successful in trading. So for me, I'll start with my success pyramid, which I will definitely share in the episode. And I start out at the bottom with respecting the long game. So this is something that Becky and I, a concept that is the foundation of trading, right? Like, we know there's no get rich quick scheme. We know this is a process, a refinement process, and it just takes as long as it takes. And within that process, identifying weak spots is a next really good item for me, just because that's the only way you can get better is if you're calling out areas that you need to improve, and then having deliberate practice for improvement on those items. So it can be easy to want to avoid the really, weak spots, but we're only as strong as our, as the weak, the weak areas that are holding us back. And then, of course, proper preparation across the board. So that really comes down to just everything we do for not only preparing ourselves to trade, like all the charting we do and all the studying and back testing, but then also, of course, honoring our personal conditions. So like how we do one thing, how we do everything, how we're taking care of our bodies, how we're taking care of our mind, how we're serving our whole person. Very important. But then these top two for me, I want to say, I mean, they're just everything. I feel like I'm realizing, like, if I could just lock these in, because everything else, I'm pretty much like, it's been 3 years now. So I'm doing that on a regular basis. It's just part of who I am now. But these last two are, I think, what really can take you from like, learning and growing, and then just to continuing to thrive and just improve and get better and better. So second to the top for me is taking action on great risk reward setups. So this also means being extremely selective. So again, changing how I participate, because the more I am selective, the more I'm building that muscle to know what that feels like, know what that looks like, and be able to just fully go in on trust, faith when I have those setups, and not entertain anything that doesn't serve me, that and of course it's not guaranteed, but again, that's where our very first one, which is so funny because like it's literally the foundational core concept that we've heard from the beginning, risk management. And I don't know why, but it's literally the hardest thing. I mean, from everyone we've interviewed on the show, from everyone Becky and I, either mentors that we've directly studied from, or ones that, we've watched on YouTube or what have you. I mean, everything's risk management. Everything just comes down to that we can't control the market, right? But all we can control is how much we're willing to come into the day and say, okay, this is what I'm willing to give today to have this opportunity. And when we honor that, it kind of goes back to the safety that I was trying to create for myself, which isn't possible in the uncertain markets. But honoring the risk management, that is a layer of safety because it does keep you in the game overall. And it does really allow your trading edge to serve you over a period of time. And it's really the only way you can ever truly compound and, build by honoring that, by letting if you have came to the place where you have a solid, trading edge and strategy and profitable, way to participate in the market. So for me, that's my success pyramid. And those two are something I'm really trying to focus on the most going into the fall. Because I've just identified that when those things are locked in, then I'm trading my best game. So I'll also explain to you all my next support I made for myself, which was what makes Kendra a CPT, consistently profitable trader. And I will first go over the doesn't, because I want to end with positive so I can reinforce that. So what doesn't make me a consistently profitable trader is trading beyond multiple losses without a break. Overscaling when read, failing to take purposeful live notes, impulsive entries that don't provide a viable stop loss, not holding to a target once the trade I'm in has proven itself, allowing pressure to make points override trading fundamentals on any given day. So from my data, from just my own, worst performance days, these are the mistakes. These are the things that do not serve me, that I do not need to do. And on the other side of things, the things that I do need to do, the things that do make me consistently profitable, that are part of my best game, is when I keep my daily losses under 1K. So that is my risk allotment for the day. I trade futures instrument in Q. So for me, that's 50 points. Waiting on a clear direction and a trade that is already outlined in my trading plan. So honoring that need to be selective and patient. Following my profit taking plan once there is a solid trade opportunity. So that just means holding to my target, respecting my stop loss, not moving to break even, not kicking myself out, and just accepting the outcome. And keeping a 4K cushion when trading PAs. That helps me not be risk averse. That helps me, if I have a few losing days, then I'm okay. I'm not freaking out. And then listening to my intuition and honoring my personal conditions, who's showing up. So these are the things that I've built for myself, implementing for myself in my system. And a lot of this is just all, it's just tweaks. It's just ways of trying to train my mind, things to honor. And just to try to really just level up and be better. So I'm excited. I'm excited for fall. I'm excited. I'm thankful for summer and the lessons it taught me. And I'm just ready to, fully believe that my best trading days are ahead.
Great job. I love how you always make slides and notes, and you really do a great job of listening and taking in tips and implementing them and writing things out. Your process is beautiful. And I think it was very brave of you to share these slides. So love on Kendra for all of her work, because that's really, really good work. And it really does put it at forefront of your mind of what you need to do to manage yourself and what your goals are. And so I think identifying our areas that we're improving and how we intend to do it is very, very powerful. And that is what is in that book, is do the work. And this is a great way of literally a visualization of what you're doing. So impressive.
Oh, I love you. Yeah, well, I'm excited to have another episode and talk about Becky's summer. That's coming up. We're going to go over everything she's going through and growing through in her trading. But you all, thank you for being with us today. We're just here wanting to share our authentic selves and work through this journey with you all. And we hope that you're enjoying our content and you'll come back and see us more. Subscribe if you haven't already. Lots of really good stuff in our descriptions. We have great affiliate links that you could purchase a Audible subscription to. We also have great materials and recommendations on Amazon that we recommend. And check out our website as well. Our socials, contact us. We love to bring other traders on and have these important discussions. And as always, our best trading days are ahead. Everyone take care. Goodbye.